I think he did.
Yeah.
And thank you, Parker, I now have that song going through my head.
I've never heard of
What, Secret Tunnel?
I'm having a heat stroke, I'm having a heat wave. We're having a heat wave, tropical heat wave.
Never heard it.
Me neither. Temperatures rising.
That's
why.
It's like,
It's really hard to like bend around it.
You know what song I heard today on?
You know what happens when we go faster? We actually get done.
what? Grace is getting her.
never knew.
Say it again, please.
Are the rest of you ready to go?
So I knew.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
If you haven't done it yet, you might want to get ready to go. Just saying.
What?
I don't wanna do it.
Yes, because even if you tell me that you don't have one, you're going up.
Obviously.
Even if you've been hanging out with
Obviously.
torture people.
Oh my goodness.
And we
She's
know what
not
effects
here.
that has on here.
Oh my gosh.
It's not.
Nine of us have gone.
8. I've got
And I
a,
think
well,
It's not
rather
even
than.
the color of blood.
Okay, so how do I help this?
You're right.
So I don't break it?
no, I don't.
Hey, it's some blood,
You
right?
just plug it in, but you don't twist it.
Correct.
Yeah, cause then you go right to the radio speech.
Correct. Yes.
Hi, Mr. Freeman.
Sophomores who are not in advanced algebra, I need to meet with you guys,
Right now.
no, 5th period, or 4th period, I mean.
So
And it's at 1 o'clock. Where do you guys normally go?
Mr. Jackson.
Huh?
go back to
Go
that.
through stuff is offered?
Just the ones that are in geometry.
Okay.
Well, everybody's in geometry.
The ones that are strictly in just geometry.
Yeah.
The ones that are just in geometry. Yeah.
Not like.
Yeah. Just go to Holbeck's, I'll come get you.
Gracie,
Won't take long.
Okay, how does
This period?
You just put
Fourth.
that. You just put
After
that
dinner.
experience.
After dinner.
Yeah, Gracie, you just have to put that, there's a thing in there, there's a thing on the desk.
Hey, did you have anything from Lawyers for Economics that you used?
Yeah, page one.
No, 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 in your computer.
We don't have.
Where your mouse goes.
What? No, you need answers.
I know where the USB goes.
On page one.
Are you sure?
Questions 1 to 7.
Gap analysis.
I don't know, I think that might be too advanced for you, Gracie.
I'm not even kidding.
Easy, we take the chair away when you're not married.
Yeah, he's
I don't want to be your room either.
Pop, pop, that one, sorry, okay. No, I was at the back one.
Because you're.
I'm certain. She's really good.
I'll talk to Jim.
Hang on, I want to see if I can see it again. I want to make sure that I can. Correct.
You don't
okay.
have to go see him. Oh wait, not saying to, it's our meeting.
Riley, break that in again.
Just do it. Because we can be right.
I missed it, do it again, please.
What do you do?
That one's a human.
He will kill you.
Riley.
This is Snyder.
Is
Sometimes
Snipe
after
you
I
right
talk
now.
to you, I'll start down schedule.
Riley.
You look like.
You don't have to change to your schedule.
Red blinking glasses on the iPad?
Because you don't.
How would you use your?
Oh, yeah, do I click that?
Is it red
It's blinking, I know, I was
Okay.
thinking
Why
that.
does it keep stopping?
I just talked so that we could, everybody wants to go back and watch themselves and not have to watch everybody else.
Well, maybe that's just because you're blind.
Separate video.
No, and you
Alright,
can
Miss
shadow
Gracie,
effect.
hey, would you do a quick sound check, make sure that this is colored concurrence?
Is it Mrs. Keller?
Keller.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Keller. At least said Heller for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that was
It's
Keller.
just me speaking.
Can you hear me enough? Am I good? Okay. Okay. Is everybody ready?
Letter book.
Okay. I did the balance of human and feline, but my overall question, what I was trying to figure out is what body systems can cause a cat to naturally like land on its feet. And so I started with like doing research on balance in general, like throughout human and cat, just to see like the differences, or just like, and then I looked up like just balance in general, like the definition of it and everything. And then my guess was just, I thought it was just gonna be a mixture between the nervous system and the skeletal system, which makes the cat land on his feet. And then right here, I just have, oh, that's really hard to see. I just have a couple diagrams of just human skeletal system, and then just the nervous system of the human. And then the balance in humans, balance is the ability to maintain the body's like center mass over its base of support, and balance is achieved and maintained by a set of sensory motor systems. These include like sensory inputs from vision, touch, and motion, and spatial orientation. Motor output is like coming through the eye and the body muscles. And then this is just a diagram of what sensory inputs are, and then this is what the motor outputs are. So like sensory is just like your eyes and like seeing, and then motor is like what you're actually doing. And then the balance in humans, it's maintained from three main sources: the eyes, muscles, and joints, eyes, muscles, and joints, and vestibular organs. And all three of these send information to the brain by nerve impulses from nerve endings called sensory receptors. And what those are they're like never-ending organs that respond to a stimulus and anything in the internal or external environment. And a stimulus is a thing that like rouses activity or energy. And then here is just an example of vestibular organs, which are just all the parts in your ear. And then now on to the feline nervous system and skeletal system. That is just pictured, the feline skeletal system, and then a diagram of what the nervous system looks like. And a cat's skeleton contains 244 bones, which is 40 more than a human. And you might be wondering, like, that might be like, seem like a lot compared to a human, just 40 more, but in all reality, it's basically just like all the bones in their tail, which makes it 40 more, because I was wondering like why they had so many more, but it's including their tail, that's why. And the backbone on a cat has more bones, yeah, because of its tail. And they are also more flexible because their vertebrae is more loosely, like it's like apart more than a human, so they have more flexibility. And then they also have really small collarbones that squeeze like really closely together, so like that's like when you hear about how a cat, like whatever their face can fit through, their whole body can, because our collarbones don't move together, that we can't do that, but they can, so that's how they get through things easier. And they also have cushioned pads on their toes, so it helps them like move around silently and swiftly, and probably lands easier and nicer. And then a cat's tail is the main source to balance when jumping or falling. And as stated before, since they lack a true collarbone, their bodies rotate easily in midair. And when a cat is falling, their head will naturally turn upwards. Like, I have a cat, so I can like demonstrate on it, and like I can like throw it, and it just like automatically turns up. I know it sounds bad, but it's not bad. But their head, the movement of the head informs the brain, which signals to send to like other parts of the body, so everything gets turned just into place in like mere milliseconds for its body to be properly aligned. It's just automatically, its head turns upwards and its entire body gets signaled to turn with it. And then here I have a video of a guy. It looks kind of bad, because I mean, it's holding the cat by its legs, but I mean, it doesn't need sound, it's just a visual.
That's awesome.
balance system is out of order. Skeletal system,
Oh, you're not supposed to go by
not
the,
supposed, don't use the AN and the. And it's resources, but,
I have work.
hang on just a minute, we need to talk to Gracie really
Failure.
quickly. Did you see the cat? That's insane, isn't it?
Shaman,
Is
do you
your
throw
cat-
your cat? Do you throw your cat?
Do you throw your
No.
cat?
I don't think that my cat can do that, he's too fat.
Can you go back to your, you have the two human body systems, they're the skeletal and then the muscular?
Yeah.
Can you go back to that picture, please? Why did you show us this?
I don't know, I just wanted to put
No,
it.
no, I don't know, should not be your answer there. Here's what I got from this, and Jamin, just a minute. I'm not certain why you told us this, I'm not certain why you had your pictures in there, because it just seemed like you put your picture up there, and were we supposed to make a connection to something you'd said previously? Was that supposed to be an explanation for something else? Like when you put the ear up, this is the vestibular organ.
Non sequitur, without an explanation.
Yeah, I wanna know why that picture's there. What am I supposed to be getting from your presentation
Well,
for your pictures?
The vestibular organ one, that was because I was wondering if someone was gonna ask what vestibular organs were, so I just put a picture up for that one.
So when you put it up there, I mean, tell us what it's up there for, show us what the importance of that is in relationship to what it is that you're speaking about. Why did you put the human stuff up there to begin with?
I just put it up there, cause it's just body system,
Right, but again, are you dealing with the cat?
cat, yeah.
So what I wanted to know then was, what's the real comparison between the two? How come humans can't do this? How?
I said a couple of things on why they can't.
Again, half your presentation is human, half your presentation is cat, but you never synthesize them together.
Yeah, she did, she was comparing.
No.
When,
didn't.
when did she say, we have this, they have that?
Collarbone.
We have a white collar, which they have.
Okay, and that justifies the whole thing?
No,
Yes.
it helps a little bit, but we didn't get the full.
I know, but what it helped with was the fact that cats can go through a door, which has nothing to do with your
She also
thesis.
said that.
Right.
It helps them rotate in midair.
Yes,
Alex,
and I wanted you to stop that video of that cat falling in air, because the instant that it got his front feet pointed at the ground, his back feet were pointed straight at the sky.
Yeah, they were.
Hadn't moved 1 centimeter.
I can do that. No problem.
And you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
Body dysmorphia.
I'm a
Which is
god.
also a non sequitur if I don't explain it, right?
Your information is really good. I'm just not seeing the connection between what you're telling us about the human to what you're telling us about the cat. So here's the deal with this. Were you doing it to take up time?
No.
To make a presentation longer than what it was?
No.
So then, why did you do it? That's the key, right there. I mean, there's a reason why it's in there,
Yes.
right? My guess is that most of that is in your head as to why you put it in there. You need to get that across to your audience.
Did you make an outline?
Yeah, I just
Did
made
you
an outline.
design?
Yeah.
So first I'm gonna talk about this, and that's gonna lead me into that, and why? You had to have a why. Right?
See, I think it's in your head.
Well,
I'm
that
sure
por-
there's a
that
connection in your
portion,
head.
but-
I'm sure. And last time, show you how my brain works. Last time, I went up here, and I was waiting my turn, leaning right here, right? And then I got up, and I said, you have to make these connections to what is my audience thinking? What do I want up here while my audience is thinking that? You have to think about your own thinking, right? Metacognition. You have to think about your audience's thinking. Remember? We had that discussion about metacognition and meta-metacognition, right?
I remember that.
What's your audience thinking when this is up here?
I can't read that.
Can you read this?
No.
They're too small.
Yeah, they're too
Can't
small.
read
The pictures are
Yeah,
just too
they
small.
are too
So
small.
one,
I didn't
and
realize
then the
that
other?
one was.
okay,
That's
Um,
the,
show me,
yeah, let her speak, Holmes.
probably the ear, maybe the one before
one before this one?
Yes. Did you get this?
No.
Yeah, I got it.
It's hand eye coordination.
You got this. What's a sensory motor input?
Hand.
It's where your brain tells your arms to move like this.
That's a motor input. What's a sensory input?
I don't know,
But
but
your
you're
brain
right.
Your brain is telling your motor.
Seeing, hearing, feeling, right? All of those touch receptors in your hands and in your skin.
I noticed that before, I don't know, I need to look it up, is it spelled right?
Yeah.
If she backs up to the previous slide and does what she should have done when that previous slide was out, then sensory motor here would not be a non sequitur. It wouldn't freak people out, it wouldn't be new. You had great stuff in here. This could have been,
Well, it will be.
and it will be when you're done, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Very good.
I had a couple other things, one of them was on the ear. Why is that important? Who cares?
Because
Mr. Glasser, line one.
Put the ear
Mr.
up.
Glasser, line one.
Why didn't you have a foot? Or an elbow? Or a butt? All of a sudden, we just have an ear. And
Yeah.
then we like
You
move
know all
on.
about that, don't you?
I was talking about,
And she didn't really explain the ears, she just kind of sat there and showed it to us.
She's got it here because this word is here because she found it there. Because this is copied. And it says vestibular organs right here. So she has the picture of the vestibular organs. Who cares? What do they have to do with this? Anybody?
They have to do with balance.
Yes, they do.
I didn't even know that.
If you go to the picture of the ear, when you look in here, this cochlear thing and the semicircular canals, there's a fluid in there, and that fluid is affected by gravity, and when you're upside down, the fluid is pushing on the wrong stuff, and your brain figures out, oh crap, I'm upside down.
There's,
That's how that works.
yeah.
Should that be affected
So if
in
you
space?
damage
Nope,
yours.
don't go too far from there. We have a real disconnect across the board from putting pictures into your presentations and explaining what those pictures are. I think you guys, Jamin, just a second, please. I think that you guys have seen too many presentations where you do put this picture up there, and then you go to the next slide, and then you don't have that reference point to go back to.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar?
And you need to put this up here, and you need to talk about and point at and show and explain while it's there. Not just go to the text on the next slide. When you put a picture in here, it has to have a reason. It has to show something that's important, and it has to give a visual explanation. Or you have to do the explanation orally. These are not here to make it look pretty.
And Lord have mercy, make them big. You guys all have that ability.
Yeah.
Blow them up.
This thing
Find a better picture. if
should
you
be
need to.
maxed. Or you should find one with all of this stuff over here so that it spreads out more.
Here's the nice thing, you guys, you're not gonna run out of paper. You can hit enter and get a new slide.
You can find one of these without labels on them, and you can put the labels on them.
Yeah,
They can go anywhere you need them to go.
you all have that ability.
You know, one or two labels at a time, and then move on to the next
You know where
slide,
your
which
hole
has a
is?
different label in a different
You
place.
know where, on that picture your hole is? Where's it at? Jamin has a hole in his ear, which is why he's so dizzy all the time.
Show us, Jamin.
Can you show them, or do you want me
Do you know
to?
where the hole is? In the tube out. That right there? Cool.
Yep. He had little tubes stuck in here. Did you guys ever see them?
No.
Sometimes when they come out, you can see them before the doctors go in and pull them out.
Did you guys ever have tubes?
They put a tube here,
I think Hannah did.
because the pressure inside and out gets goofy, because there's too much wax buildup back here, and it needs to get out and can't, so they make a hole, they put in a tube, and then that pressure can equalize.
He's showing him
Oh,
where it
I
was.
had a different.
Yeah.
My ear.
Your
My
ear
ear
is
canal would
your ear
collapse.
is a funky doodle organ there.
So yours was just to hold it open.
Yeah.
And then they removed them when I got older.
See that disconnect? Yeah.
And most of you guys are doing this. We're pointing it out with Gracie, but most of you guys are doing the same thing.
Well, now I'm curious too about the difference. The difference between a cat's ears and the human's ears, and whether or not they have the same balance issues that humans do.
And is the fluid that's inside here more
Jamin, don't
viscous than
interrupt,
us
please.
and less viscous than them, which would cause,
It to flow.
they would have faster reactions, they would have a quicker sense of,
We don't need to
okay, I'm
cut out
turning them
that
upside down.
specifically. No, sir, no, we just don't need to.
Cats don't like to be upside down at all.
Dude, cats are ninjas.
They also bounce off
Cats are
water.
ninjas.
And the other piece of information that I want you to include when you do your final here is the drop distance. Does the drop distance matter?
Ooh, if I drop a cat 4 inches, can they get
It's too
smaller?
big.
Well, no, because that would be logical, because they're not even 4 inches tall.
Right. I mean, some of them have legs that are 6 inches long,
Yeah.
so probably not.
And
Tigers have
I
the
think
same.
there's a disconnect between people thinking you can drop a cat from 30 feet and it'll still be okay because it'll land on his feet.
Well, I saw a cat jump out of a tree and it was fine.
That tree is probably not.
I wonder, do tigers have the
So-
same,
The fireman was
all
on fire.
felines have the same effect?
You get to grab it and turn it upside down.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll run the
You
camera
have
on the
that.
outside of the fence.
I'm gonna have a couple ropes tied,
Paige,
and
you're
it's just gonna be a
next.
slicing of the rope.
Any more questions for Gracie? Put her letter on the book.
You're going to talk about
Mr. Mutter,
this. You have.
yeah, we can test this.
Oh, that's.
It's been a rough day, okay?